make sure that whenever you buy any herb on the market, on the internet or whatever, just make sure that anything you have been learning so far about the herbs, and when you read also their little prescriptions, their lifelines, their life and love stories, that you smell them, that you taste them yourself, that you check out in the pulse. Are they really doing what they are supposed to do? Why can this differ even when it comes to a preparation as a Thailam? Why can this differ so much? It's very easy. When you look at India as this massive subcontinent, then we have seen the northern parts being close to the Himalayas, being close to an exposure of dryness, cold, and altitude. So the plant there, look at a plant like ashwagandha, who is growing at the footprints of the Himalayas and up to 2,500 meters height. Then you can see that little ashwagandha plant. It's quite short and it's really clinging to the stone and trying to absorb all the nutrients from the stone, from the minerals, from that little bit of soil that it can grasp. That's a wild plant. It's a wild plant, so it is short, it is strong, and it has a lot of nutrients, and it has a lot of actions, a lot of dravya. When the same plant then, for gaining more money, for the reason of just producing more, because the market of Ayurveda is growing. So you can't just collect the wild plants anymore, because as I said with Jatamansi, some of them are almost extinct already, and they're forbidden to be transferred outside India or to be used. And we respect this because this is the WWF, and they care a lot about the environment and the protection, and we should take that really, really seriously on when we prescribe. So that's, for instance, white sandalwood, but definitely it is Jatamansi that we should keep our hands off. So when we look at the ashwagandha now, that is now moved to the damp fields of Mumbai area. Mumbai area, it is Western India, and it is just hit strongly by a lot of rain all the time. It is quite damp, it is humid all the time. The heat is pretty strong most of the year, which is very different to the Himalayas, where the average temperature is maybe about 8 degrees. And now in Mumbai, it is about 25 degrees. So the plant will change. For instance, the plant will grow very fast because of so much sunlight, because of very little things that have to fight for. They get even fertilized, they get a lot of water. And on top of that, while the first plant, the wild plant, with all its goodness in its own environment, has been only receiving water by rain, we now see the garden plants that they receive the water by irrigation. So when it comes to irrigation in India, it is some kind of a problem, because we do have a lot of arsenic naturally in Indian soil, which comes from the Himalayas. It is not pollution in the sense that people have been, not caring, and you put the blame on India, and it is not like that. It is just really a natural mineral, but it's very toxic when it gets into the plant. So a lot of the plants can't even pass our custom test we spoke on the other day because of the high arsenic in the plant. So when we then also look at certain plants growing in Kerala, and Kerala is very humid, it is very jungly, it also has some heights, but again, the climate is very different. So again, the actions of the plant might change a bit, and therefore it is always, always important that you smell them, that you try them, that you check, are the gunas, are those that are described in the Charaka Samhita or in our little handout. Are these plants really what I wanted? Are they doing that? Or do I have to maybe add something? And also we have to see that we as Western people, we haven't been exposed to these plants so many times. So for us, for our system, they're pretty new. They are not common. So when we have a look into allergies, so why do we have allergies against a lot of the natural plants that are growing in Europe? Because we have been exposed for a very long time. So that means our reaction has been reduced, right? So when you look at Indian herbs, so that's really classy because Indian herbs have been far enough to be newly introduced to our system. That means our reaction is higher, but they're not too far enough, too far, just like Chinese herbs, because a lot of Chinese herbs, they are more depending on a special diet. When we look at the Indian diet in general, we see a diet that's pretty similar to our diet. There's dairy in it, there is wheat in it, there is some rice in it, but mostly actually it's wheat. Look at the chapatis. And there might be some meat. When you look at Southeast Asian diets, you see the coconut as the main fat, and you see more meat, and you see a lot of processed food in the sense of fermented food. We don't have that in our diet. So the gut biome of the Australia-Pacific people or the Far Eastern people is very different. That means the absorption of certain nutrients is very different. And that's why their plants are sometimes too far away from our system to be understood in the sense of digested and to be transferred into the different dhatus for the healing purpose. So Indian herbs are just really a bridge between us and our loss of connection. Yeah. So it's not that we just think, oh, you know, it's something exotic. No, it is just that our herbs just lost a lot of the value over time. And you know, when I put some thyme on my pizza just 3 times a week, I can't consider this as a healing herb anymore. It lost its value and made even have just changed its activity in my system in the sense of making me high alert to the substance so that I can even get a bit allergic to it, particularly when it is a cross allergy, where we're going to talk about this, which is very, very, very important, I think. So we sniff it, we try it in our system. This is one of my all-time favorite three-dosha oil. It's a Mahanarayana oil. And here we do have another beautiful oil, which is for maintaining the focus, and it is very safe. One can even use it for babies, but I would dilute it again because we are far more sensitive to Indian herbs because they're newly introduced to our system. So just dilute it. A lot of the tylams you actually can dilute 1 to 10. That means you take some sesame oil, some organic sesame oil. Make sure it always comes in a brown bottle. All the tylam come in a brown bottle, so it is not exposed to sunlight and it stays longer, has a longer shelf life. And you can even put them in the fridge if you want to preserve them for a bit longer. Then we come to something, I see they are all a little bit disgusting. And we come to something, oh, whoa, this is strong. That's a part of a lepa. That is a sticky preparation that is used for external application. This part is particularly used for frozen shoulder syndrome. It sits on the shoulder for a very long time. It is applied there as a paste, almost as a kalka. And I love using kalkas. I use sometimes also this finely ground earth, the healing earth, we call it in German, and just use some water, and you can use that to reduce the pitta. We use a lot of kalka with neem, which is connected to the tea tree oil family. So we use that against fungus infections externally. We can use also the neem tylam, but it stinks like hell. But a kalka, a preparation where it is made into a paste, either with oil or with water or with bone marrow, and then applied to the body or applied to the hair or applied to the nails, is a wonderful preparation. So kalkas can be also used to be burned. We have a special way of taking herbs in the body through inhalation. Looks a bit funny, and I don't know, maybe I'll find the photo where I'm inhaling through my nostril through a long pipe, a special kalka against asthma. And I have to say, it's really tricky. It doesn't come easy. Go in and use it. So then we do have the quat. The quat is something we also use in our daily practice. A quat is where you use a herb and you cook it for a certain time. So most of the quats are like dashamu quat are used for enemas. A lot of our patients during panchkarma then prepare their own quat. So they take a vessel, put the dashamul inside, put a pinch of salt on top of it, put a teaspoon of honey in it, and then let it boil down from 3 liters to 1 liter, and then again to half a liter by adding a little bit more of Manarayana Tailam to it. Yeah, so then you have a beautiful preparation for water enema for basti, Nirua basti. Yeah, try that and make your own quat, opposed to just trying to buy some and be frustrated by the quality of some of the products. When it comes to the quat, there are also some quats for drinking. And then we come to the next one, which has a funny name. It is a hot preparation of plants. The word is Fanta, just like the famous soft drink. So it is Fanta. And we could also call it, in our surrounding, in our background, tea. Yeah, so you have a herb and you pour hot water on it. Then you have a Fanta, or we would say it is a herbal tea. We also have this called hima. Hima is a cold preparation where you pour cold water on it. Okay, and then mostly a hima sent overnight. Himas are basically used to extract herbs in the sense of roots. The Fanta is mostly used for leaves and flowers, while the hima is then used for roots and stems. So that can sit overnight, and in the morning you would then heat it up. Okay. Now we come to the different fat applications, the Thailand.